Hello and welcome to the 7 key steps to book writing and publishing success. My name is Richard McMunn, and during this free presentation I'm going to teach you the system that I've been using for the last few years that has enabled me to become a best-selling author no fewer than 117 times, and it's also enabled me to generate in excess of £4 million from writing and publishing books. So before I get started, make sure that you've got a pen and a piece of paper and take some notes of the important tips that I'm going to provide you with during this presentation. Okay, let's get straight into it. Now, it's important to state from the offset that this presentation is about you and your future success as a book writer and also as a self-publisher. Now, you'll notice as I go through this presentation that I have self-published in excess of 150 books. I'm a strong believer in the fact that you should publish your own books because you get to keep 100% of the profits, which is very important. So if you go out there and get a book publishing deal, you might get 10 or 15% of net royalties, which will mean that you would probably see round about 30 pence for every book that is sold, which to me is unfair. So we want to focus on you and your future success. Now, the only way that you will become successful as an author is to make sure that you take action. And by taking action, I mean is sitting down, writing the content for your book, focusing on this system that I'm going to teach you. Now, I always have a mentor to help me, somebody to guide me, someone to show me, and that's what you need to do, is to have a mentor. With me showing you what to do, then I can virtually guarantee success with your book by using the system that I'm going to show you. So make sure you take action, watch the video, and then go away, start writing your book and use the system. Now, some people have said to me in the past, hey Richard, aren't sales of books declining? The fact is they're not. They are on the increase and they will continue to go up. Okay, now it doesn't matter which genre you're interested in writing, whether that's fiction, non-fiction, self-help book, career books, it doesn't matter. Okay, children's books as well, massive market. You know, have the belief in your own abilities, but also understand that book sales are on the increase and they are only going to continue. So you can see there a slide from a little while ago, book sales up by 188%. Okay, now some people also said to me, but Richard, look, aren't book sales with regards to printed book sales on the decline? I say no, they're not. Printed book sales are still on the increase. Now, some people who will be listening and watching this presentation will say to me, I don't have any experience. How can I write a book? Everybody has the ability to write a book. So if you take me, for example, I didn't have any prior experience of book writing or the book publishing industry. I've gone out there and I have learnt the hard way. I've found out exactly how to do it, and I've developed this unique system which I'm going to teach you. So basically, prior to writing books, I was actually in the Royal Navy. There's a picture of me on board HMS Invincible at the tender age of 17, and there's me above. I joined the fire service at the age of 21, and I spent 17 years in Kent Fire and Rescue Service, and then I left in 2009 to start my publishing business. And it was a big risk at the time. I had a very good job in the fire service. I was earning about £60,000 a year, and I decided to leave it to start writing books. And obviously at the time a lot of people thought that I was mad, but I knew that I could achieve success, and that is what I have done. So have the belief that if you've got no prior experience of writing books, and I do know that some people listening will have a lot of experience as an author, I can teach you too, but if you've got no prior experience, don't worry about it. Start from scratch and just, as I say, take action and have someone, a mentor, to help you. Also, with regards to qualifications, I've just got 3 GCSEs. GCSEs in English literature, English language and art. And they are not very good grades either. So anybody can do it. The beauty of book writing and publishing is that you just need a computer. You just need a computer, a desk. I started from my cellar. So the startup costs are minimal. Okay. Now let's quickly talk about wealth, because even though some people who write books are not in it for the money, there is a substantial amount of financial reward to be had from writing and publishing your own books. So if we quickly talk about wealth, £26,000 is the average income in the UK, which is not a great salary. It's not a huge one. So when I left the fire service, I wanted to get myself to the position of earning what the top 1% of earners were in the UK, which is £200,000 a year. That was a minimum. That's what I set out to achieve, and I have far gone well over that. And I'm talking about what I get in my pocket. So it's up to you. You can achieve whatever you want. Set yourself a goal. So how much do I make from writing and publishing my own books? There's proof of my sales figures. I make approximately £50,000 per month from my own website. Okay, so that's from my own business website, but I've made in excess of £4 million so far from writing and publishing books. But the important thing to note here is that when I started writing books, I had a financial goal, but I was focused on the reader. So always think about your customers, think about your readers. Okay, if you write quality books and write quality content, then the financial reward will come regardless. Now obviously most people's problems, most authors think it's the same as everybody else. They use the same system, the traditional system, which is fine, but they generally won't sell many books. But using my system and using my mindset, okay, and the action plan that I'm going to teach you, then you can become very successful. So most people in life, they think the same as everybody else. Like I said, when I left the fire service, everybody thought I was mad at the time, but I didn't want to think like everybody else. And that's why a lot of people's income or business profits stay the same, okay, because they think the same as everybody else, but you're going to be different, okay? How many times have we heard this in life? Be careful, take care, don't take any risks, okay? So I don't use that. I throw that out of the window, okay? I'm prepared to take calculated risks. When I sit down to write a book, I think, okay, I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into this, and I don't go into it thinking it's not going to work. I go into it thinking it will work because I use my system. So make sure your mindset is right. Now there are basically 4 steps to success, okay? Now what you're going to do as an author is you're basically making yourself visible as an author. That's the great thing about being an author, and the tools that are available to you with regards to Amazon. You can write a blog now, you can promote your book on social media, loads of different ways. But what we want to do with your book is make you visible. Now you gain credibility by writing brilliant content, okay? That's very important. Regardless of the genre or the niche, make sure you focus on great content. And basically, when you do that and you make yourself the authority in your particular niche, your area, this is where the wealth will appear. Okay, so my book genre is with regards to careers and self-help. I enjoy helping people to become successful. So I made myself deliberately the authority in that area, and that is when the wealth appeared. And writing a book will get you to the top of the ladder faster than any other method, okay? Because it positions you, makes you visible. You can position yourself as an expert. So a lot of people go out and get a book publishing deal. Well, you're not going to do that. I don't want you to do that. There are disadvantages to getting a deal. Basically, you can lose the rights to your written work, okay? So you're giving the publisher exclusive rights for them to sell your book around the world. You also will probably have to provide the publisher with updates. Now we don't want that to happen, okay? Because if the publisher isn't making a very good job of selling your book or promoting it, you would still have to provide the publisher with updates. And if you're only getting 30 pence per book that's sold, then that's not very motivating. Number 3, you may have to do the promotional work for your book. Don't just automatically think that if you go out there and get a book publishing deal, the publisher will do the promotional work for you. That is not the case. There is little room for negotiation on the royalties, and I believe the royalty system in the UK and worldwide is extremely unfair for the author. And it's likely that you will never see a royalty check. In excess of 75% of authors never see a royalty check after their advance. Okay, so I'm hoping that I've persuaded you to write and self-publish your own book. Okay, now let's go through the 7 key stages. Now, the first stage is to choose your book niche or genre very carefully. Now, write that down, please. You need to be in a niche or a genre that you have either knowledge of, you have a passion for, or you have a great idea. Now, there are a number of different book categories and genre. What I recommend you do is go to amazon.co.uk once you've finished this presentation and have a look at the categories, the book categories, and pick which one you're going to focus on. Now you'll see that there are many different kind of categories, and it doesn't matter what type of market you're going to get into, but make sure you are passionate about it, because I want you to be a successful author for years to come. The only way that you will achieve that is by being passionate about your particular genre. Now, I'm in careers, as I mentioned. That's what I have predominantly authored books on, is centered around careers, because I like helping people get into jobs. Self-help books, motivational reference books, careers, business startup and advice, fiction books, erotic fiction. Erotic fiction, believe it or not, is a very, very large market on Amazon.co.uk. Drama, children's books. Children's books is a massive market. I've helped many people on my one-to-one coaching program to get them to publish their children's books. Cooking and food related books, health and fitness, and high-end salary jobs. Now, these are only examples of different book categories that are available. There are other ones out there too, but these are just to give you some idea of the different ones. So the first stage is to pick your niche, and that's what I do. I sit down, I say, right, my niche is going to be in careers, because what we want to do, once you've chosen your categories, we're going to use that later on to tell Amazon and to tell the wider world and Waterstones that this is my particular category. A lot of authors, when they publish their book, don't pitch it in a particular category. You get the option to do that on Amazon, because what we want people to do, our customers, is to find your book, and that's all part of the 7-stage system, is promoting the book, which I'm going to teach you as we progress. Here's an example of what sells and why. Insider. Now, when I started my career books, I said that I was the insider, and I gave insider quality information. It sells because people want to get the advantage. Fitness books, people always want to get fit, okay, but a word of warning, with fitness books, it needs to be something which is unique. It needs to be something which is niche. Don't just do a general fitness book, because there are so many out there. You need to pick a specific system or something that you do with regards to fitness that is unique to you, that you've got experience in. And also ask yourself this question: do people ever say to you, can you help me with a certain thing? When I was in the fire service, people were always coming up to me and saying, can you help me get into the fire service? And I did. I helped them, they got in, and that's when I sat down and wrote a book on how to get into the fire service, and it sold in hundreds and hundreds of copies, because that to me was an idea, a book idea. Now, people are always looking for continuous improvement, so if you think of a book subject which or a niche or category which has a benefit of helping people to continually improve, then that is a great market. Something that gives people tips and advice on saving money. Property related books are also extremely strong sellers. Mystery and thriller books. You remember the 50 Shades of Grey? That was a massive book market, that kind of fiction. And also stuff like Harry Potter. So you'll see there also in the middle is a triangle, and that's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, when I sit down to write a book, I think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I want you to do that as well. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is basically what we all need as human beings to get on in life. Now, you'll see that there are different stages there of this pyramid, and Maslow basically stated that we all need these in order to reach self-actualization. Now, I use this because books can fit into this category. Now, I don't know of any other publishers or authors who are using this approach, but this is really cool. Now, you see at the bottom it says physiological needs. So we all need, as human beings, we need to breathe, obviously. We need food, water, shelter, clothing and sleep. Now, that is why cooking and survival books sell really well, because it is a basic physiological need of a human being. The second stage is safety and security, health, employment, property, family and social stability. Now, my genre falls into careers, and that is why they sell so well, because it is a basic need on Maslow's that people want them. So you can see where this is going. If you have a book idea and then you get up online, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, come back and watch his presentation, then you can look at it and you can ask yourself, does my book fit into any of these? If it does, then it has a far better chance of selling. Relationship books, love and belonging, motivational books, self-esteem, and self-development books fall into the top of self-actualization. Now, a lot of people are surprised at the success of Facebook. I mean, we all spend hours and hours a day on Facebook. If you look, I think the average person spends hours a time on Facebook. The reason why Facebook has been so successful is because of the third tier on Maslow's of a sense of connection. So we all want that sense of connection. That is where fiction books and novels fall into is a sense of connection. That's why people buy them. They have a sense of connection with the author or with the characters within the book. So use Maslow's as a stage one, part of your stage one book writing and publishing process. So stage two, we need to then select the book idea to ensure that it sells, because there is no point in you spending a lot of time writing and publishing your book to find that it doesn't sell. Now, write these down. This is important. This is my book ideas generation form. Okay, it's called my big form. So ask yourself these questions. What do I know? So think about any career that you've had to date. Think about something that you're passionate about. Some kind of information that you've got. So if you think about my journey, I was working in the fire service, so I knew about the fire service, I knew about the Royal Navy. So there were 2 books that I could write information about and sell those books. Also, what are you good at? I am good at coaching and helping people. I'm very good at that. I'm not saying that to be big-headed, but I'm very good at taking an individual and making him or her successful in whatever they do. So therefore, there's no end of stuff that I can do to help people. Like with regards to this coaching system that I developed, and you'll also see below the video my publishing system box set. So I've created that because I'm good at it and people want it. So ask yourself, what are you good at? Also, do people ever ask you for help or advice? Think about that. People always say to me now, can you help me to publish my book? Because they want to do it properly and professionally. I'll say, yes, absolutely. You can come and work with me on a one-to-one basis. What qualifications do you have? Now, obviously, I don't have that many qualifications, but I could do a book on how to become a multimillionaire with just 3 GCSEs. So think about the qualifications that you have got. For example, a friend of mine, David Isaacs, published a book. It was a #1 bestseller. He had a master's degree in mathematics, so he published a book on GCSE mathematics and how to pass it. Also, what are you passionate about? Now, I am very passionate about helping people, as I hope that comes across. Now, the reason why I say what are you passionate about, because that will come across in your book writing. Once you write the book, it will come across how passionate you are. And also, what is topical right now? That's another thing. What is topical? And you can do that by reading the papers. So I live in Tunbridge Wells in Kent, and a few days a week I go down to my local coffee shop and I sit in there and I read the papers. I read it because I want to be kept updated and informed of what's going on in the world today, but also to find out different book ideas. So here's an example. I was reading the Telegraph and the newspaper showed that British Airways were going to recruit 800 pilots. So you can see there's the proof, British Airways to recruit 800 pilots. You know where this is going. I thought to myself, I could write and publish a book on how to become an airline pilot. Okay? So, of course, I don't know that information, but there's nothing to stop me from going out and finding an airline pilot. And that's what I did. Found a serving airline pilot to write a book with me, and we shared the royalties on how to become a pilot. So I published the book for him, and it's a best-selling book on Amazon. You can find it. But that's just from reading the paper, from coming up with different ideas. What about if there's competition? Okay, now this is a really, really important tip that I want to share with you. So my specific genre is with regards to careers. Okay, so we already established that it's with regards to careers. Now I found a book online. I wanted to do it, which was with regards to helping people pass the tests for joining the armed forces. And I did some research within my system, and I found a publisher was publishing a book on it. Okay, now some people would think, oh, I'm not going to do it because there's a competitor, what's the point in doing it? But I looked at this book and I thought to myself, there were a number of things wrong with it. Okay, the first thing that's wrong with it, in my opinion, was the title, and the book was called Practice Tests for the Armed Forces. I also thought that the cover, in my opinion, was not very good. Okay, it looks totally focused on army. So there's a couple of problems with that book, and I thought to myself, I can get in there and I can create a better book. Now write this down. There is a tool that you can use online. It's called the Google Keyword Planner tool. This is very effective. Now, as part of my system, which is below this video, I teach you this as part of that system, really how to use this Google Keyword Planner tool. But you can find this tool online, and basically Google will tell you what people are searching for. Now this is fundamental to success with book writing and publishing non-fiction books. So using this tool, I found out that nobody was searching for practice tests for the armed forces. Nobody. So therefore, if nobody's searching for it, that means there's limited customers. Okay. Now when I typed in armed forces tests into the Google keyword planner, I found that 14,800 people were searching for that keyword or phrase online. Now, I don't need to tell you what I called my book, okay? So my competitor's book was called Armed Forces Tests, okay? Now, you can type that into Google if you want, and I'll guarantee that my book will come up #1 on Google. And also type it into Amazon, give it a go, and I guarantee that my book will come up #1 at the top. And that's just by making sure I carry out my research and think about the title of my book. So the title is very important. But also, interestingly, I made my book longer than my competitors. I provided more test questions. I improved the front cover. So if you look at that front cover, it's very simple, because what we have to do, and I'm going to talk to you about Amazon as we progress through the presentation. Amazon is your best friend as a publisher and an author, okay? But you have to look after it. You have to work it right, and you can do that by making sure your book covers are easily seen by your readers and customers. So they need to stand up. So that book, you know what that is without even looking at it. So I improved the front cover and I increased the price. This was interesting. I put my price up by £5. So my book was more expensive. The reason why I did that is because of perceived value. Okay, don't sell your book for a small price. Okay, the majority of my books I will pitch at around about the £15 mark. Okay, 13 to £15. If you're writing and publishing a book which is a fiction book or a novel, then the price would need to be generally round about £10. But for non-fiction books, I would go for 10 or £15. Sorry, 13 or £15. Okay, here's another example of somebody that I helped on my one-to-one coaching program. A gentleman called Bill Lavender. I helped him to publish his book. Again, we did some research using the Google Keyword Planner tool, and we did a book, How to Become a Driving Instructor. Bill is a professional driving instructor, and if you type that into Amazon, his book will come up #1. Nobody else was calling their book How to Become a Driving Instructor, but there was 6,600 searches on Google, people searching for how to become a driving instructor. So it makes sense to use my system. So stage 3, make sure you write content for your book that focuses on the reader. Okay, now if you purchase my publishing system below this video, then I will give you support, personal support. So you get my email address, you can contact me, and you can ask me questions about the content. Now obviously the content for your book will be very much dependent on your genre and also on your niche. Now I write content for my book that totally focuses on the reader, and it really is of benefit to them. What I also do within my book is that I create a section which is a top 10 tips chapter. It's called Top 10 Tips, and I provide 10 really solid, strong tips in every book that helps the reader and it improves their life. Now the reason why we want to do great content is because we want the customer to go online and leave a review of your book, and we want that review to be really good, because reviews really help your book. Okay, loads of authors publish their own books and then they don't do anything to get reviews for their book. Now you can't go out there and buy reviews. Don't force people to leave a positive review. You just have to ask people to review your book and then trust on your content. So if your content's great, people will leave a good review, because human beings are generally nice people. If they like what you're writing, then they will leave a good review, and if you leave good reviews, then that person will start searching for you online as an author, and then you can create extra books as well. So when you get to my system, the box set below this video, then send me your content and I will review it for you. Okay, I don't mind doing that, looking through it, and I'll give you some tips and advice. So you've basically got 3 options for writing a book. You can do the traditional method, which is what I use. Now set yourself a plan, aim for 3 pages a day. Now when you're writing your content, write it in Microsoft Word. Okay, font size 12. I generally write it in Arial. It doesn't really matter on the text type, the font type, but Arial font size 12, and with a paragraph spacing of 1.5. Okay, and you can find that in Microsoft Word. Now, the reason why I recommend that you write it in that format is because generally that is then the page length of the book, how it will come out in typeset format in preparation for print. So if you write 100 pages of content in that format that I've just told you, then your finished printed book will generally be round about 100 pages. Okay, so if you were to write 3 pages per day, after a month you would have an approximate 100-page book. Now, people say to me, Richard, how long should my book be? Again, this very much is dependent on the genre of the book. Okay, and when you get a copy of my system, below the video you can ask me, you can email me and say, I'm writing a book in this genre, this field, how long should it be? And I will give you some advice on my opinions. Now, the second option is the 11-hour publisher. Now, this is only applicable to Amazon Kindle. It is possible to write and publish a book on Kindle inside 11 hours, which sounds absolutely crazy, but it can be done, and I've done it on a number of occasions. The third option is that you can outsource the writing element. Now, this is ideal for those people who have little knowledge of a specific subject. Now, within the system that I have, that box set below the video, I go into detail about outsourcing. I provide about 8 hours tuition on DVD and online. So I talk to you about the power of outsourcing. Now, it is possible to go and find a professional writer to write a book subject for you. A word of warning, if you do use an outsourcer, an author, make sure that you thoroughly check their content before you commission them to do it. Okay, now as I say, within the system that I've got below the video, I go into detail about outsourcing. Outsourcing is a great way for us as authors and self-publishers to get people to create our book covers, to format our books for Kindle, to get ready for printing, but also to find an author to write content for us. So you've basically got those 3 options, which is great. Now, stage 4, your book cover will determine how successful your book is. This is crucial. Okay, now all of my book covers are extremely professional, but they are very simple. They are bold in colours, and the title is self-explanatory, because what we want to do is for people to go onto Amazon, and people, your customers, will see your book and it jumps out at them. Okay, because now most people buy their books online, so the only thing that they get to see is the book cover, not the book spine, and therefore we have to compete with other people online, and we want our book cover to stand out. So what sells a book apart from content? Now, there is a saying, don't judge a book by its cover. The reason why people say that is because people do judge a book by its cover. Okay, so it has to be great. I mean, there's a little joke on there by a publisher, Cooking with Pooh. Not a great cover, but you know, that I find online there are some really bad book covers. Your book cover, doesn't matter how good your content is, doesn't matter how good your content is, if your book cover is not good, it will not sell. So focus and think carefully about your book cover. So here's some examples of some very good book covers. Now, these 3 authors worked with me on a one-to-one basis. Okay, they worked with me on my one-to-one VIP author mentoring program. Now, the test of a book cover is to ask yourself this question: when I look at my book cover, do I need to explain to anybody what it is? Now, I'm going to talk about these covers, but I don't need to tell you. You're looking at them and you know what they are without me having to explain. That is one of the tests for a brilliant book cover. Claire Perry on the left, how to make money from membership sites. The central one, Dr. Janice Lakin, how to become a chiropractor. And then on the right hand side, Beverly Moraes, a step-by-step guide for beating anorexia and bulimia. Okay, now Beverly, we put Beverly on the front of the cover, so you can also consider putting yourself on the front cover if your book is within a specific genre or niche, and I've done that a number of times. Okay, so that's the test, is to make the book stand out. You'll see the titles are really strong, but each book, there's a thought process that has gone behind creating the artwork for these covers. So think carefully about your book cover. Here's some more examples of great book covers. Now, Paul McKenna, whether you like him or not, is very, very good at selling books. Okay, he is very, very good. You'll see there that his covers are simple. Okay, he puts himself on the front because what he wants to do in the book is upsell. Okay, so you're buying into his brand, you're buying into his system, so you instantly recognize him. So it builds trust between the reader and him. And that means then he can offer different things within his books. If he wants to offer training courses or coaching, then he can do. Now the titles stand out. Again, the test is, do I need to tell you what they are? No, you know what they are just by looking at them. Now the one on the left, this is quite clever. Quit smoking today. The most important word on that book cover, most people would say to me, is quit. It's not. It's the word today. Okay, so quit smoking today. So people nowadays haven't got time to do things. Okay, we're all very impatient, we're all rushing around. Therefore that book, Quit Smoking Today, I mean obviously if it said quit smoking in a month's time, nobody would buy it regardless of how good the content is. So think about using power words in your book titles, especially if they're in this particular self-help genre. Now stage 5, you have to become a master at selling on Amazon. Now the whole Amazon process as an author and a self-publisher is a process that you need somebody to teach you, and I can do that. Again, within my box set system below the video, you'll see that there is 8 hours worth of tuition on a DVD set about Amazon. I will teach you everything to know about Amazon. Okay, so if you're going to be successful as an author, you have to understand the Amazon. Once you learn the process once, okay, then you just repeat the process. Now here is an Amazon sales page. Now I need a few hours to spend with you to go through the whole Amazon process, but let me just sum it up in a nutshell for you, because obviously we don't have much time. This is a sales page for a book, for one of my books. There's the Armed Forces test book that I spoke about earlier. Now the book cover is obviously important. You also see there the click to look inside. We want to get that on your book, because then people will then read a few pages. You only have to put a few pages in the click to look inside, and that will increase sales. Now remember, the title is very important, and you need to create a book title based on what people are searching for. So you'll see there what I've done, and you can do this on Amazon. Armed Forces Test, that's the first part of the book title, but you'll see in brackets I have put something else. Practice test for the Army, RAF and Royal Navy. I've done that so that if people are searching for RAF tests, then it will still appear on Amazon and also on Google. Okay, so think about your subtitle for your book as well. The book description is important. You'll see that I always start it off with the title of the book, because I want Google to pick up the sales page on Amazon. And again, if you go onto Google and type in Armed Forces Tests, I promise you that it will appear right near the top for Amazon, this book, because of the way that I have set it up on Amazon. Now what we need to do, and this is where you will make a lot of money. There are 2 different sections. Amazon's sales page is unique. The frequently bought together section there, where Amazon will bundle books together, okay, based on what people are buying. Now you'll see below that there is this thing here, which is customers who bought this item also bought these other books. Now every single book on that page belongs to me. So you can see now why my book covers, they stand out. They stand out like a sore thumb. So you can see them, they're bold in colours, and they are simple with regards to the title. So you can see there that there's it says page 1 of 10. So there's 10 other pages where people have bought my book with another book. The more times people buy your book with someone else's, you will move along the bottom to the left. When you get to the left, you will eventually come up to the top. Amazon will push you up there. So the aim is to get your book on as many different sales pages as possible on Amazon. And I'll guarantee that this book will probably be on 100 other sales pages down here at the bottom, and also there on the frequently bought together stage. Now the final thing is with regards to your author account. Now you need to have an author account on Amazon where you add your biography and your photograph, because people want to see what you look like. Most authors don't do this. They just put their book up, their name is there as the author, but there is no description or biography, and it is madness. We want to build a relationship between you and the reader. It doesn't matter what genre book you're in, non-fiction, fiction, novel, self-help, doesn't matter. make sure you add your author account, and I can help you to do that. So stage 6, with regards to your book, you need to consider upselling in the book and offer your book to multiple sales channels. Now, with regards to upselling, for example, I have lots of books on getting into different careers. One of them, as I've already mentioned, is how to become a firefighter. Now, within that book, I draw people on the first page to a website, and it's called firefightercourse.co.uk. That web address then takes people to a page where they can go and attend a one-day training course. And I charge £100 for that course, and I'll get 20 people once a month come onto my course, and that's £2,000 for one day's training. So think about the different upsell opportunities. Now, you can do loads of different upselling in your book. You could draw people to a blog or a website. You could draw them to other books that you're thinking of publishing. You can offer them training, coaching, one-to-one tuition, DVDs and CDs. There's loads of different ways that you can upsell, but you need to draw people from your book to a website or a page. Now, in order to sell through multiple sales channels, you need to have, and write this down, an ISBN, an International Standard Book Number, and also a barcode. Okay, once you have them, you then have the option to sell in all of these different places. So again, if you went to eBay and typed in Richard McMunn, you'll see that there's probably about 400 people selling my books on eBay. Okay, and that's because I've got an ISBN number and a barcode. So we want to sell on your own website, Gardner's Books, a distributor, WH Smith's, Waterstones, obviously, Play.com, eBay and Amazon. So make sure you get an ISBN and a barcode. And again, within the system below the video, I'll teach you exactly where to get them and how to use them. So I've already mentioned about the upselling. So if we think about Janice Lakin's book on how to become a chiropractor, what could she upsell within the book? Well, she could offer one-day training courses like I do on how to become a chiropractor, one-to-one coaching and tuition. She could do a membership site with online training videos, public speaking opportunities. She could go and talk at schools, colleges and universities. And by the way, I get asked on a regular basis to go and talk at different events and different universities and schools because I've positioned myself as the authority. Remember the slide that I put up near the beginning? Okay, so that's what we need to do, is to tell people about us within our book. Now, this is a great one. Drive lots of traffic to your book. Most authors put their book on Amazon or get it into Waterstones, and then they don't do anything to promote it. And there are a number of simple, really highly effective ways that you can get lots of traffic to your book. Okay, now write these down. Where do you get the traffic from? Well, you can get it from your own website or a blog, and you can get a free blog using something like WordPress. A free LinkedIn account. So I'm always promoting my books on my LinkedIn account. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, social media is obviously massive. Now you can create Facebook ads now, which is great. So you can promote your book on Facebook. Now the beauty of this is another reason why I'm encouraging you to be a self-publisher. Because if you have 100% of the royalties, you can afford to spend 50% of your royalties per book on promoting it. Which means if you were to make, say, £10 profit on your book, you could spend £5 promoting your books. Okay, so that's what I do. If you go out and get a book publishing deal with a publisher, then you're not going to have the money to do that, and they certainly won't pay for any promotion for you on Facebook or Twitter. Business cards. You know, a lot of people who work with me on a one-to-one basis go and get some business cards made up. They're really cheap with their book on it, and draw people to Amazon. Hand them out to everybody they know. YouTube, a free account. I'm going to talk about YouTube in a second. You're going to love this. Great way to get free traffic for your book. Now you can pay for adverts on Google through pay-per-click, and that basically means that every time someone clicks on your advert, you have to pay them, hence pay-per-click. Now this does work really well, and I'll prove it. You can see that this is my Google pay-per-click account. You can see there at the bottom, I have spent to date in excess of £344,000 on pay-per-click advertising. Okay, that's the amount that I've spent so far. So I've spent a lot of money on it, but now and that's to promote books, by the way. That's just to promote books. Now I'm going to teach you a great way to get free traffic for your book. Free traffic, and you can do that using YouTube. Now YouTube is free. That's the great thing about it. It doesn't cost anything to sit down and record a video. You can record a video either using a system, a screen capture software, which is very similar to the one that I'm using now, or you can even record it on your smartphone. So basically, I publish a book and then I do a short video on it. And I've got a YouTube channel called Career Vids, which is Career Vids. The Vids is with a Z at the end. You can look it up if you want on YouTube. And it's had almost like 1 million views of free traffic. Now, here's an example. So I authored a book called Mechanical Comprehension Tests. I then did a short 10-minute video, okay, a short 10-minute educational 10-minute video for YouTube, which is based on the subject matter. So I talk about the content of the book and I give the viewers a couple of sample questions and how they can tackle mechanical comprehension tests. Now, I use the same process based on what people are searching for. You know the process that I use for calling my book? So I call it Mechanical Comprehension Tests, and that's what I call the video. Now you can see there that that video, this is a Google page, ranks at the top for Mechanical Comprehension Test questions and answers. Number 1, right at the top there. So when people are searching for it, they will click through, and that goes through to YouTube, and you'll see there that I've got download Richard's book here, and I've then got a link to my webpage where people can download the book. Okay, you can also draw people to Amazon from that link. But the beauty of this is great. That video generates £18,000 a year in book sales, just that video. So every day I'm making £50 a day. So I'll sell it at £10 and I'm selling 5 books every day on average. That's £18,000 a year. And that's for a free 10-minute video. So make sure that you promote your book on YouTube. Now, I've become a #1 bestseller numerous times. Okay, so there's the proof of one of my books, #1 bestseller in the certain category. Now, there are 3 key elements to becoming a bestseller and also to a #1 bestseller. First of all, you have to write great content. Okay, the content has to be really good. You have to be passionate. Remember, focus on your readers. You also have to create a great book cover and a great book title. And I've proven to you time and time again during this presentation that it can work. Don't forget the Google Keyword Planner tool. Remember, get someone to create really, really good artwork for your book. And the third one, I teach you in the system. There's one killer technique to get yourself to rank to #1 bestseller. So below this video is my ultimate book writing and self-publishing system. I want you to have this box set. I'll send it to you in the post. Okay, it covers how to make money from writing books. There's about 8 hours tuition of me one-to-one teaching you how to write books, and I go into detail and depth about the system that I've taught you today. There is also approximately 8 hours tuition on Amazon. So I've mentioned one of my key tips was make sure you become a master at selling on Amazon. And also there's another DVD set which is how to sell on YouTube. Okay, so I'll teach you about how to get your book up on YouTube, how to promote it using the different videos. Okay, and I'll also send you a manual. Okay, so you'll get this box set with those 3 6-part DVDs, and you'll also get my technical manual on how to write a book in the post. Okay, and the box set looks exactly like that. So you get it all shrink wrapped. It will come by courier. You'll get it delivered, and then you can get started straight away. Okay, now if you don't want to wait for the box set, option 2 below, you can get it online, so you can get access to all of the videos and all of the support online. Now if you buy the box set, okay, and get the box set delivered, I will also give you access online. Okay, so immediately if you buy the box set, I will send you an email which will give you links to the online videos so you can start watching them straight away. Now also I've put there support. I will give you support, personal one-to-one support, so to make sure that you're successful. Like I said, if you want to send me your book chapters to review, I will do. If you want to look at your content and give you some advice, I will do. Okay, so you got this video for free. Now is the time to invest in your future as an author. Get yourself a copy of my box set. Okay, I'll send it to you straight away by post. I'll also send you access online so you can start watching the videos. Remember, one of the first slides that I showed you was about taking action. Okay, so don't forget, sit down, take action, have somebody as a mentor, me to show you, and you will achieve success. So I wish you all the very best in your pursuit to becoming a best-selling author, and good luck. Thank you for watching.